Rosco is a 22-year-old male red lorried Amazon. He's been with us since about March 2019. Um, and he's probably in his fourth home. His um, last home, they took him in and had him for about 11 years. And when they noticed that he had a growth on his tongue, they were unable to uh, uh, provide for the medical care that he needed. So they made the loving decision to help him get the care he needed, and they surrendered him to Mickaboo. So that's how he came to us. And he ended up having squamous cell carcinoma, which was treated. He did wonderfully through all of his treatments. He had surgery and he had some other forms of treatment to take care of his cancer, and he has been doing wonderfully since then. Uh, they were able to get that under control. He has been back to, he went back for follow up, um, and his foster mom was concerned his squamous cell carcinoma might have come back, but it ended up just being a fungal infection that was treated. So it was not his cancer that came back. Um, the other thing about Roscoe is that he does have an overgrown beak, which needs to be trimmed every few months. So he will need to make sure that he has that he's taken back in to make sure that that beak shape is maintained as best as possible.
So some context for those who might not be as familiar with birds. Parrots will generally wear down their beak just through use over time. Generally, you don't really have to file them or trim them or anything like that. But there are some health issues that can cause them to basically overgrow, which does require a vet. You don't want to be doing that at home. The beak is a very, very sensitive thing. So I believe you said he was 22 years old?
22, yes.
How long do Amazons live? I know that's a pretty common question that we get.
Amazons can live to be about 60 to 80 years old.
Oh, wow. So he's just a young guy.
Yes. So he still has quite a few years ahead of him.
Oh, yeah. I'm just watching him in this video playing with his foster. So is he
does make known when he likes to, what he likes and what he doesn't like. So that's definitely for sure.
I was going to ask, does he step up?
He will, but it's mostly on his terms. So, but he will step up for you. But again, you know, in typical Amazon fashion, he's very vocal about what he likes and what he doesn't like. So, but he will step up on the foster mom is showing that right here, that he, you know, he'll climb up onto your shoulder and he wants
climb directly up onto the camera too.
Yeah, he wants to sit there with you and hang out for a while. So, yes.
They sound like quite the character. I was going to ask, what are their diet like?
Well, he is on Harrison's Adult Lifetime course pellets. He likes the pepper flavored. He also gets a Lefebvre's nutrient cake as a treat, and he is learning to like his fresh foods. So he likes blueberries. He likes red jalapeno peppers.
He likes it spicy, apparently.
He does, and he gets maybe some shelled almonds, a couple of shelled almonds a week. And the foster mom uses them to for training and when she wants to get him back in the cage, so that works really well.
A nice little bribe.
Yes, they are.
I will remind people that if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask either in the Q&A tab or just in the comments on Facebook, so we can answer them live and get some good real-time answers. So I actually just wanted to ask, I'm seeing a lot of toys in that cage right there, and we saw him playing with the ball earlier. Does Roscoe have a favorite toy?
Yes, he likes his shreddable toys, that he can tear up, and toys. He likes ropes, wood, shreddables. Um, they all like most Amazons like to turn those wood toys into kindling. So he's your typical Amazon in that respect. And he likes his rope perches, and uh, the ball. We're not so sure if he just likes to throw that down, if he's a fan of that ball on top of his cage. But
It's the eternal question. Are they throwing the ball because they're having fun throwing the
guess
ball, or are they
right.
throwing the ball because they're not a fan of it?
Exactly.
Oh yeah. They seem like a real character, and are they flighted? We're seeing a lot of wing flapping going on, at least.
um, he's probably not a great flyer, but he probably is flighted.
Capable but not interested.
Right, more along that line.
Yeah, we see that a lot, especially with birds that were clipped. It basically stops being their go-to thing. It can take quite some time to get them flying again and interested in flying.
And as you can see in the video, he'd much rather have you come pick him up.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I could have someone escort me around, that would be my first choice too.
Yeah.
We did have a question from the audience. Roscoe has had a lot of health issues, but is he on any medication right now?
He is not on any medications at this time. But again, just as mentioned, he does need to go in to make sure every 2 to 3 months to make sure that beak is trimmed and looking good, so that it doesn't interfere with his eating.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit tricky to figure out at first, but there's a lot of good references for how grown is an overgrown beak. I think I heard, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, does Roscoe preferred women over men? Is that something?
He seems to really like the ladies, but he's not completely totally opposed to men. The foster mom noted that he tolerated her boyfriend just fine, and his former home noted that he seemed to like to call out to the gardener that used to come around the window, and he would see him. So he's not totally against men, but I think it's just because he's been used to having women caregivers,
So now he's
probably,
gotten
that
used
he
to them.
developed a preference somewhat. And definitely with the as much time as he spent in the vet's offices, he definitely really loved the vet tech ladies there. So
So before we move on and meet our next bird, do you have any fun stories about Roscoe?
yeah, Roscoe is Amazons can be pretty loud. They're very loud on the noise level side. But Roscoe, his mom says he's pretty mellow, and he's pretty quiet. But one of the things he does like to do is he likes to have these one-sided conversations sometimes when he does talk. It sounds like it's a phone conversation that he's carrying on by himself that he's heard. So that's kind of a cute thing. If he goes on a car ride, like when he has to go to the vet, he's pretty vocal then too. He'll whistle on occasion, but again, he's pretty quiet for a birdie. I think he he definitely can be a real sweetheart for somebody that will just uh, take good care of him and wants a nice companion.
He sounds like a real sweetheart. All right. Thank you, Shauna. And